Goodbye, my dear father. Come home right away. Katie.
Boris Sidork reads one of the many letters sent to Ukrainians interned during World War I and is reminded of the struggles his ancestors faced. Sidork spoke at the unveiling of a memorial plaque at Exhibition Park. The grounds became the site where many Ukrainian Canadians were interned between September 1914 and November 1916. Sidork says the plaque is to memorialize those individuals, which consisted mostly of Ukrainian men.
Commemorating this site is important to remember that not only is Exhibition Park a great place to commemorate Western heritage, but it also interned people during the First World War and during the Second World War. So this is just an important moment to remember all parts of Canadian history.
There were 24 internment camps across Canada during World War I. Belinda Croson with the Lethbridge Historical Society says Ukrainians weren't the only nationality interned.
There were Germans, Austrians, people of Turkish descent. Anyone who would have been from one of the countries with whom we were at war during that time could have been interned there.
Croson adds individuals were interned for a number of reasons.
Some of them were reservists, so they could actually have been called up for the military of their countries. So they were sort of caught behind enemy line and considered enemy aliens at that time. That was sort of some reason behind it, but it was also in some ways to lock up anyone who had sort of anti-British sentiment, and it extended also to families in some cases. So it went beyond what their initial intent was, and it actually did go into civil rights abuses as well.
The Lethbridge internment camp was small compared to others across the country, with a maximum count of 300. Croson says the camp was shut down earlier than others.
We were so close to the American border, and at that time the Americans were not part of the war, they were still neutral. So if you escaped from the Lethbridge camp and could make it across the American border, you were free. And so because of that, we had a reputation for a large number of escapes. Many of these people had lived in southern Alberta prior to the war. They had family, well, friends certainly around. And so it's believed and quite highly substantiated that once they got out, they were assisted.
Sidork says the plaque will be used to share history with younger generations.
Part of education is commemoration, and you know, for the folks that will pass through the doors of Heritage Hall here at Lethbridge Exhibition Park, they might take a moment to read it.
For Go Southern Alberta, I'm Fallon Wagner.